4 knockdowns, 1 brutal stoppage, in a fight that exposed the gap between hype and reality. What happened in Leeds between Williamson and Simpson wasn't just another boxing result, it was a technical breakdown happening live in the ring. Most people remember the knockout, very few understand why it was unavoidable. Going into this fight, expectations were of a competitive domestic battle. The Leeds crowd was ready for a hard contest, not a shutdown. But from the opening exchanges, Williamson showed something Simpson didn't: control. Not reckless aggression, not wild power shots, but calculated pressure. He cut the ring off early, forced Simpson onto the back foot, and dictated where every exchange happened. That's already a red flag in boxing, because once you're reacting instead of deciding, you're losing. The first knockdown didn't come from a lucky punch, it came from a defensive flaw. Simpson's guard was high, but static. His chin stayed on the center line during exchanges, and Williamson timed it perfectly. This is a mistake fighters can sometimes survive once. What separates contenders from stoppage losses is what happens next: adaptation or repetition. Simpson never adapted. As the fight progressed, Williamson didn't change much because he didn't need to. Same pressure, same angles, same clean shots landing. The second and third knockdowns weren't shocking, they were predictable. Simpson's legs began to betray him, but more worrying was his lack of adjustment. No lateral movement, no clinch control, no tactical reset. Toughness kept him standing, but toughness without strategy is useless at this level. By the time the fourth knockdown arrived, the fight was already over in reality. Simpson's reactions were delayed, his defense was broken, and his corner had no answers. The referee's stoppage wasn't controversial or premature, it followed standard professional boxing safety guidelines. Repeated knockdowns with no visible defensive improvement almost always lead to a stoppage, and rightly so. At that moment, the referee wasn't ending a fight, he was preventing damage. Williamson's performance deserves credit beyond the knockout. He didn't chase the finish emotionally. He waited for openings, punished mistakes, and stayed disciplined. That shows ring IQ. Power alone doesn't drop a fighter 4 times. Timing, positioning, and patience do. This was a controlled dismantling, not a brawl. Now, the uncomfortable truth about Simpson. His biggest issue wasn't his chin, it was his defense under pressure. No head movement, no exit angles, no composure after being hurt. At professional level, especially in front of a hostile crowd, you cannot rely on heart alone. If Simpson wants to progress, his focus must shift toward defensive fundamentals and recovery management. Otherwise, this won't be the last stoppage loss. For Williamson, this win changes perception. A 4 knockdown stoppage sends a message to the division. Matchmakers notice these performances. Opponents take note. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement that he's ready for tougher, riskier fights ahead. In the end, this fight was a lesson in preparation, a lesson in adjustments, and a reminder that boxing is brutally honest. Mistakes get punished, patterns get exposed, and hype disappears the moment the bell rings. If you want analysis that goes beyond highlights and actually explains why fights end the way they do, you already know what to do.